Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2020 State of the Student Government Association. My name is Philip Goodrich, and I serve as the president of SGA, and I'm so glad you could join us this year for this virtual update on SGA. So today, just an overview of what to expect with today's presentation. We'll start with some general updates from myself, and then we'll move to some internal updates. Then we'll touch on the budget and overall finance update. Then we'll dive into some PR strategies. We'll look at the past elections and the spring elections, and then we'll look ahead and provide some closing remarks. And at this point, I'd like to introduce the SGA Executive Council.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Mason, and I am the current SGA Vice President.
Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas Griebert. I'm the current Director of Finance for SGA.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Fernandez, and I'm the Director of Public Relations for SGA this year.
Hi, I'm Christian Grevin. I'm the Director of Elections for SGA.
Okay, so I think it's fitting to start off with just touching upon some of the challenges we faced in the year 2020. I think this provides a good context for all the work we've been doing in SGA, because it's really been, a lot of our work has been connected to these challenges. So whether it's COVID-19, that's been the big one, racial injustice, and just issues around diversity, equity, and inclusion. The presidential election and just the kind of the hostile climate that's been created and fostered in this country. Economic and financial hardships that have impacted students and families. Virtual learning and campus closures, that's been the story of this academic year. And then global events such as the conflict with Armenia and Azerbaijan. I think that's had an impact on our student body. And then in California specifically, fires and different natural disasters that have displaced students and caused disruptions. And then just overall mental health issues that have resulted from all of these struggles. So this is kind of the context for what we've been doing and some of the motivating things that we've been trying to bring about in SGA changes to combat these challenges. So I wanted to highlight some notable initiatives from this past term. One being the COVID-19 Financial Relief Program. So with this program, it was a historic initiative by SGA where we allocated $100,000 to provide financial assistance to students who have been impacted by COVID-19. And this financial assistance went toward basic need items such as textbooks, educational supplies, food, housing, and transportation. And approximately 282 students benefited from this program, and I'd call it a really successful initiative. So we were proud of that. Moreover, we also released a statement of support for our Black Student Union and the action items they proposed to enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion at Chapman. And we went kind of a step further and created our own strategic plan for how we would help create a better environment at Chapman. And this has been at the forefront of everything SGA has been doing this semester. So I'm really proud of these efforts, and these are ongoing, but we've been playing a major role in DEI at Chapman. Another one is the expansion of the Laptops to Go program. Here we invested over $35,000 in collaboration with IS&T to expand our Laptops to Go program. And these are now serving as loaner laptops for students who need them for virtual learning. Another one is the DEI infographic series, in which our director of PR worked with our diversity committee within our Senate to create a series of infographics promoting different DEI topics that have really benefited the conversation at Chapman. Another one is the tuition and budget breakdown advocacy, in which we connected with our COO, Harold Hewitt, and received a comprehensive breakdown of why tuition remained where it was this semester despite virtual learning and COVID and financial impacts. And then an overall kind of transparent showing of the budget and where funds are going. So we hope that provided some transparency and understanding to the students. And then lastly, we've been working on modifying and enhancing our yearbook, and we're going to be moving that to an online environment rather than a hard copy with an external program. So we're hoping that can make it more accessible and just more beneficial for the broader community. And then this isn't noted on the slide, but we recently have been collaborating with the Student Health Center and the university at large to fund COVID-19 rapid tests. So this is still in the works, but it's looking as if we're going to be investing $15,000 with the university matching that contribution to provide rapid tests free of charge to students. So these are some of the highlights of this semester, and I'm really excited and proud of the work we've been able to accomplish. Another component of our advocacy this semester has been including the student voice in a lot of these university decision making processes. So, for example, we've been involved in conversations regarding COVID-19 testing and the See Safely Back planning. For example, we actually were the ones who encouraged the university to mandate testing come the end of Thanksgiving break for students who are returning. So SGA really voiced that concern and we made it happen. Another one is the provost search and the hiring process for that new position, the creation of the new vice president for DEI position, the dean of students case manager interviews, and the overall DEI measurable goals planning, where the university is trying to create specific goals to address these issues on campus. So we've also been providing updates to the faculty senate and the board of trustees, and really just trying to elevate that student voice in every realm of campus. And I will now hand it over to our Vice President, Erin, who will touch on some internal matters.
Thank you, Philip. I am glad to say that our operations have smoothly transitioned to this online virtual space. All of our meetings have been conducted via Zoom, which has fortunately allowed us to operate as a fully functioning organization. All Senate meetings in particular are conducted over Zoom every Friday at 1 p.m. They are recorded and also open to the Chapman community. I'm sure you all miss seeing your representatives out in the piazza, and we miss that too. But there's no need to worry because each member holds a weekly public office hour via Zoom, and you can find that Zoom link for all of our members on our website, along with the corresponding time and date for each person. So every other year, SGA forms a committee known as the Constitutional Review Committee. And the purpose of this committee basically is to review the operating documents of SGA to make sure that they are up to date and ensure that SGA operates in the most effective and efficient way possible. The committee met this semester bi-weekly, and we do have plans to continue meeting during interterm and also into the spring semester. So now I'll be passing it off over to Thomas, who will be telling you more about our finances.
Hi everyone. So our budget this year looks a little bit different due to the reallocations we had to make near the beginning of the semester. So currently we have around $95,000 budgeted for the academic organizations, with around $5,000 currently allocated. As for student organizations, we have $45,000 with around $10,000 allocated. And then for conference scholarships, we have around $20,000 budgeted with only $770 allocated for this line. And then for co-sponsorships, we have $69,000 budgeted and $63,000 allocated. And then our COVID relief has been maxed out with budgeted at $103,000 and allocated the same amount. So some of the examples of the expenditures that we had this year is the laptops to go for co-sponsorship with IS&T for $35,000, as well as the Cross-Cultural Center co-sponsorship for $22,000, the Calliope semesterly book for around $22,600, around $6,000 to over the course of the semester to the collective to help promote the organization in terms of music videos and pop-ups, and then a $4,500 expenditure to bring a speaker to Kappa Alpha Pi. And along with this, we've had many other smaller funding requests, such as funding for student conferences and student organization websites. And then I'll be handing it over to Sophia.
Thank you, Thomas. So this semester and kind of for this year in general, one of my goals was to really strengthen all of our digital media platforms through the use of consistent campaigns and really fun, interactive things that we can present to our student body. So some of these include our CU resources. So every Tuesday, we highlight a specific resource that Chapman has to offer. Especially in the online format, it's super important that the students are aware of these resources and make use of them during this time. In addition, we have our Senate synopsises every Friday, which will just give kind of a good recap as to what we talked about in our Senate meeting, if we had anything approved, or if there's anything that's really important for our students that they should be aware about. And additionally, this is kind of an ongoing thing that we're going to be doing throughout the entire year. We're doing member spotlights just to show the students who their members are and who's there to represent them, as well as the SGA diversity infographic series that Philip touched on a little bit earlier. That has been a wonderful success. We've had a great time creating those infographics. Thank you to our graphic designer Paige. In our most recent one, we highlighted a lot of BIPOC businesses and brands in the Orange County area, just in the spirit of the season and to really encourage that diversity on our campus. So just in general, I'm not 100% sure of the number that we started with. It was probably about 1.1K, but we've successfully boosted that up to 1,384 followers, and we have a very strong prospect for growth in the future. We've created an SGA link tree that creates all of our links for anything, for our website, for our Senate meetings, for anything that's relevant that week or that month, all on one consolidated page. We have our SGA official LinkedIn page that I just set up this semester, as well as the SGA official website that is kind of the hub of everything SGA this year. Second, we did touch on this a bit earlier in terms of the things that we focus on social media, but I would say our messaging is probably one of the most important aspects of our PR. So as a whole, I've really tried to keep our messaging student-centered, concise, and very informative overall, with the purpose of upholding SGA's goal of transparency with the student body and truly taking a strong stance on important matters impacting our students. Regardless of taking a stance with our words, we do try to support any statement that we publicize with tangible actions and proof moving forward. And finally, moving forward for the future, here's kind of some things that we have to expect for the next semester. So I want to continue that strong concentration on our digital media platforms. Given the circumstances of being on a remotely online format, it's important to stay in connection with our students and keep them aware of everything that is going on internally with SGA. So we're going to be starting our 60 Seconds with SGA video series. We're going to do a lot of more promotional videos regarding any town hall or Senate or really any meeting that is relevant for our students. We are in the process of creating our SGA official podcast, which is called Hey SGA, and that is going to center on a lot of higher education issues that the students should be aware of and really allow them to engage in that dialogue with. And as well as Philip touched on earlier, digital yearbook additions to our website. And now I'm going to pass it on to our wonderful Director of Elections, Christian.
Thank you, Sophia. So this past September, we had our fall 2020 Senate election, during which we welcomed in our last 5 senators, including for the first time, the Fowler School of Engineering Senator. Isaiah Janot was elected as our Diversity Center, Matthew Gill as our Leisure Student Org Senator, Jill Akala as our Civic Engagement Student Org Senator, Rachel Burns as our Lower Classman Senator, and Aviv Zoman as our Fowler Senator. During this election, we tripled voter turnout in comparison to the past spring Senate election, which is incredible. For diversity, we had a rate of 14.88%. For leisure, it was a rate of 14.3%. For civic, it was 14%. For lower classmen, it was 17.55%. And finally, for Fowler, it was 21%. This upcoming spring, we'll be having another 2 elections for SGA. The first is the presidential and vice presidential election, which occurs in mid-March. Then we have our Senate election, which takes place in mid-April. During this election, we'll have 13 Senate seats open for the 2021-2022 academic year. The election calendar, which can be seen on the right side of the PowerPoint, shows all the important dates for these elections. This calendar can be found on our website and on our Instagram page as well if you want to check it out more. If you're interested in running for an SGA position, I highly recommend exploring our website to find out more information about our organization. And if you have any questions about running, please feel free to email me at sgelections@chapman.edu. Off to Philip for some closing remarks.
Thank you, Christian. So looking ahead, some of the primary goals that we have moving forward, one being supporting students and the campus community through COVID-19 and our eventual return to campus. We are optimistic that that is in the future. We see that happening soon. It's just a matter of when that is and how that happens. So we want to ensure people can get through the process of COVID-19 and then slowly start adapting back to that on-campus environment. And another one and this is a big one, is working with the administration to create, as I said before, specific, measurable, and time-bound objectives around DEI at Chapman. We are really holding true to committing the university to these goals by the spring semester and having these published to the broader community. So the university as an institution is held accountable, has specific objectives that they can work toward, and just so we can show our student body that we are making progress in this realm of campus. Another one is continuing to echo the student voice in conversations regarding university decision-making. And specifically, we are working with President Strupa to get the student voice included in the strategic planning for the next 5 years. Chapman is in the process of developing this strategic plan, and we want to make sure the student voice is at the forefront, specifically with issues around DEI, cost of attendance, and just overall university goals. So that the student voice will most definitely be included in that document, and we're excited to work with him and the broader administration to make that happen. And then another one is engaging with the student body to understand student concerns, needs, and ideas. I know this is a virtual environment. It's been tough to communicate with one another and talk with one another, but that's going to be a continued goal, especially of Sophia's, is to really engage with the student body and just hear what students want to see at Chapman. And lastly, this is a new goal of ours, but working towards improved sustainability and combating climate change at Chapman. This is an existential crisis, and Chapman as a university has a role to play in it. So moving forward, looking ahead into the spring semester, this is most likely going to be one of our top initiatives that we're going to work toward. So we're excited to provide more updates on that moving forward. So I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to watch this update. I hope you found it beneficial and informative. I do encourage you to connect with SGA. We love hearing from people, whether you're a staff member, a student, a parent, whoever you are, we love hearing from you. And you can always reach out to us at sga@chapman.edu. And our personal emails for both the exec and the Senate and our Director of Justice can be found on our SGA website at www.chapman.edu/SGA. And then, as always, I encourage you to follow our Instagram at Chapman SGA for updates and general updates just on organizational operations and whatnot. So thank you for taking the time to watch this, and we look forward to working with you to make Chapman the best place that it can be. Thank you.